Malison: The Cursed City is a fantasy survival horror RPG published by Devolver Digital, currently in development, in which you investigate a sinister city filled with hundreds of grotesque monsters, demons, and weirdos. It focuses on exploration and atmosphere. Its main influences are both classic Western RPGs like Baldur's Gate, Japanese RPGs like Final Fantasy, as well as survival horror games such as the Resident Evil and Silent Hill series. As you sneak through the city, you encounter all sorts of strange characters, many of which you can speak to, trade with, recruit to your cause, steal from, or even attack if you so choose. You can approach this game in a million ways. It's up to you how you plan to survive. Your actions may lead to wealth, disaster, betrayal, or may even lead to uncovering some of the city's darkest secrets and the game's many hidden endings. The main character is no powerful hero. You awaken in the city transformed into a weak, frail goblin, and may need to rely on desperate measures for your survival. You will likely need help from other survivors you meet, and it's up to you to decide who you trust and recruit to your cause.
Sorry.
I was doing log stones and ass pigs. I was doing it.
Combat is in a classic turn-based style with a focus on managing scarce resources and building unique strategies by recruiting all sorts of different party members, equipping them, and teaching them new skills. Monsters move closer to you during combat, increasing the threat and tension as they begin using their more devastating attacks. You do not want them too close. I stream development work of Malison Tuesday to Friday at 7 p.m. EST on Twitch. I also have new development update streams on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. EST. There is also a Discord you can join for the game. Check below.
right, folks. Sorry, I went to get some tea before the stream tonight. All right, and I got some lemon green tea tonight. Some lemon green. Yeah, you know, I'm starting a bit late tonight, so I think I'll forego the midstream longer pause and just All right, so let's look over some issues, and we could also do a little bit more balancing stuff. Done a lot of stuff though in balancing. I do want to revise some more skills, but yeah, for now, let's start with some bugs. Let's start with some other bugs. Okay, the army guy figure has no inventory icon. Oh. Army guy. Army guy. Oh yeah, look at that. Army guy. There he is. Yeah, balancing and bug fixing today. Okay. Obsession may turn into the slime hydra's leg when killed. It happens. Happens to the best of us to become the slime hydra's leg. What a grim fate. Yeah, I could do a little bit of boss balancing too. It happens to the best of us. Yeah, and the Constitution, just under the right to bear arms, it's the right to hydra leg. No, it's not going to break Loner to recruit the Shadow. Someone was just suggesting that maybe it should, because that means you're no longer alone in your apartment. But I only really care about the stuff that gives you direct help. And I kind of prefer if... What, they do? They do set the switch? Oh. Wait, I thought yesterday someone had... I thought the bug someone had reported yesterday is that they don't and they should. I thought the bug someone had reported yesterday. I thought the bug yesterday that I found was someone complaining that they don't. Wasn't that what was reported? So was I bamboozled? Did I misunderstand? Oh, about the friend count, not about Loner. Okay, I see. Yeah, I mean, at first I was thinking that you want... Yeah, okay, I think... Yeah, it's true. You can't tell them to leave after getting Rose. Okay, alright. So wait, I also do it for Wrigley? Okay, I think that for Wrigley... I think I should remove it for Wrigley. I think Wrigley getting in your apartment should not count because you're not like I don't want it to be possible for you to Oh, I forgot the Discord. Oh. Alright, let me post it. Well, you don't expect him to actually appear in your apartment, but that's also the case for Lyle. Yeah. I'll think about it some more. Well, when you speak to him, it's not clear that he's going to appear in your apartment. That part's supposed to be a surprise. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's true. It's true. People would know. That does make that a bit easier to decide. Ooh. All right, well, let's go over these first now. I guess the fact that he's an item, you know, like for instance, I don't count Betty, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Betty doesn't count. Yeah. But that has a direction fixed though. That's weird. That is weird. I don't know why this would sometimes end up being this. Huh. Alright, then I guess I'll give it a root. I'm just gonna do this. Gonna do direction fix off, direction fix on. There we go. So that should make sure that it does this before. That should fix it, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it checks for proximity, but it needs to be very close. I could increase it. I could increase the size a bit if it feels like it's like it always misses you. I could make it check between like if you're two tiles away before the fight. And this one here could check for 3 tiles away instead. That should make it a bit Oh, that's something I'll do later. Adding more skills to the gauntlet doubles. That's something I should make a note of, actually. I'll make a note of it right now. Yes. Yeah, it combines the damage. Its regular attack uses its normal damage, but it makes like a division, so that the number that it shows for its damage is still kind of representative. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's a parallel process event you want, not an auto run. Yes. You want a parallel process, not an auto run. Auto run freezes everything. Parallel process is the same thing except it doesn't interrupt anything. So you want to do in a parallel process, you want to make it run this. And when it runs, instead of doing it directly here, you can't actually trust parallel process events to do important things. So when it finds the thing is close, you just want to use a self switch. And then once the self switch is on, that's when an auto run kicks in. If you want like important things to happen. Unless yeah. So you want the parallel to be just the trigger, and then as soon as it's triggered, when the event has to happen when it gets close, you use another page, and that one you make it auto run. That's how you do it. And then at the end of this, it just turns that self switch back off, so the auto run only runs once. That's always how I do that. Yeah, this is the proper way to make sure a parallel process thing, because you cannot trust this kind of logic in a parallel process event because it can be interrupted by anything. And if it's interrupted, especially battles, right? Like you can do a battle if it's in a parallel process, you can do a battle, and then there's like something that happens if you win, but then you could win and then the parallel process could be interrupted before it runs the win stuff. So it's like you never won. It's really bad. So yeah, you can't trust parallel process events with important things. You can only trust them to like trigger a single thing, and then you switch to an auto run as soon as you can. That's the general rule you want to go with. The way you think about it is the only thing that's parallel should be the thing checking to see if you're close, right? The detection of whether the player is close enough is the only thing that actually needs to be in parallel. Everything that happens after that should no longer be in parallel. So that's when you put this. Also, you can, if you want this to not lag as much, you can add a little delay here. You can add a little wait. So that it's not checking every single frame, especially if you have multiple things doing this. If you just have one thing, it's not too big. It's not too bad, but you kind of want to have like a wait 2 frames. So that way it's not doing this, because this is like basically like a collision check. I mean, it's not that bad. It's just a little bit of math, but it's a good idea to add a little delay here, because it's going to be repeating this very, very fast constantly. And the characters don't move so quickly that a little pause between each check doesn't really make like a big difference. So yeah, the first is the distance away that it checks, and the second one is the it's a modifier for where the center of the object should be considered to be as tiles go. Because this is a big monster. If it was 0, this would be considered the center of the check, right? I think it's even be this or something. Yeah, this would be the center. So that means it would catch you more easily from above than from below. So I add something that does -2 so that it's over here instead. So that just changes what the center of the monster is considered to be vertically in tiles. So it's -1 or -2 usually, or sometimes 0 if it's a single. If it's a single object with that just one tile size, then you can just make it 0. Or if it's something that's large but it still has like a small footprint, so it's just a tall monster. So the sprite could be big, but it's just a tall monster that's still only essentially taken up one tile on the ground. That's when I would go with 0. There we go. All right, let's keep going. The way that Chainsaw interacts with Auto Strike. Yeah, so multi-attack weapons. So Auto Strike is like a specific action. So like multi-attack isn't really like the way that the chainsaw is a multi-attack weapon is that when you attack, it uses a special chainsaw attack, and that special chainsaw attack has a multi-attack effect on it. So that means that multi-attack effect isn't inherently applied on skills because it's just a special attack that does when you attack with it. Yeah. So that's why the chainsaw doesn't really like synergize in any specific way with other than just having a high attack. So Octo Strike doesn't really like hit more times. And Octo Strike Octo Strike itself is a lot like the chainsaw attack actually, right? It does multiple hits, but it does an attack that's like a smaller. It's like a fraction of the normal hit, right? Like, so the Octo Strike itself is kind of like a chainsaw hit that's just themed differently and with different numbers. I don't think I would want to have a bionic arm for Sam. That would kind of remove the sacrifice you have to do to have the rat baby, you know? Like the rat baby, think of the rat baby as your bionic arm, you know? Think of the rat baby as your bionic arm. I'm glad, Workload Gambler. It is a little bit of a divisive ending, but I think a lot of people appreciate it. But, you know, everyone has different concepts of what cosmic horror is like or what it should be like. So it's not, you know, every time you try to do this kind of ending, you know, for some people it's going to fit into what they like in cosmic horror, and for some people it won't. Some people would just prefer if there's never any kind of explanation for anything. So to some people it explains too much. Hmm. Yeah, Yeah, if there was going to be some sort of like getting your arm back, like it would need to have. I feel like the only way that would be satisfying, like, narratively satisfying to get your arm back would be if it comes at a much greater like story cost and gameplay cost, right? Like it would need to come with like a bad ending of some kind or something like that. Or maybe it should even like result to some kind of harm coming to the rat child. Like there needs to be like I feel like at that point it would need to feel like I mean not necessarily that the rat would die, but like you should like if you do something to get your arm back, you should kind of regret it, you know? Like it feels like that's where that story would be going. That you would need to like, you know, like would need to feel like a devil's bargain. Hmm. But yeah, I generally prefer if that just doesn't happen. If that's just a done deal. But yeah, I think the only way it would work is if it was like, you know, if it was like clearly a bad idea and it just made things worse, you know? Hmm. Yeah. I got you a replacement arm, but this arm belonged to a serial killer. Oh no, you have a serial killer's arm. And then, oh, wait, Ellen's arm is missing. And now you randomly start attacking your friends. Exactly. But yeah, no. Also, another thing is that sacrificing a party member doesn't really work as a drawback, as a way to get his arm back because like you often are going to just have extra party members you're not using. So I feel like it's the kind of trade that only works in one direction, you know? So I don't think that would really feel like a significant cost to just lose a party member. Yeah. So yeah, it should feel like if something like that was there, like it should feel like a bad idea. Hmm. You would need to feed the arm to keep it. You need to like do something horrible every day or the arm falls off. You become like a it's like you've become a vampire but just for an arm, you know? Like you get that kind of like horrible curse. And the moment you stop doing the thing that the curse requires, you just lose the arm again. Hmm. Alright, let's keep going. The two things in Benjamin's room use a different dead sprite to the ones in the main apartment. Oh. I mean, don't think too much about that request. I think very often people just make requests because they just have an idea. It doesn't really like mean anything deeper. It's just people have an idea of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if, you know? That's really all there is to it, I think. You know, you lose an arm in a game with a bunch of, body horror and people transforming, and so kind of feels like sort of quote unquote logical that there would be some way to, you know, that's just how these things go. Yeah, you just find someone who got your arm.
Oh no, it's time to
Oh yeah, you just find a weird guy later who's clearly grown your arm. Or like a creature, like your arm itself has turned into a creature, right? And you can kill it, and you can kind of get the arm back, and you can try to attach it, but it just turns into something horrible. It just like turns into some horrible complication that just takes over the entire game, you know? That little arm rat? No, I don't think I've seen that. The meatworm dead sprite is not flattened. We need get get the flattening iron. Get the worm flattening iron. Let's go. We got a worm to flatten, folks. Um I mean, you can get an arm that you can use as a weapon already. It's already in there. It's already in there. Yeah, you have an arm, but you regrow your arm, but it's now like an independent creature, and you have to like deal with it. You have to like negotiate with it. Whenever you want to equip a new item, it's like a whole thing. Why do I have to wield guns? Maybe I don't like guns. Why didn't you think of that? Maybe I want to use the two-handed weapon instead. Why didn't you think of that? Okay, we can go with that, but I think we're gonna get killed. Oh yeah, the worst backseater possible. The worst backseater. That's good. That's good. I had not seen that one, no. I had not seen that one. It's very good. I'll show it. I'll show it. There it is. It's good. It's very cute. It's very cute. A little creature. Yeah, that's right. Maybe you can just keep trading limbs for friends. You know? I forget is this where? Yeah, that's the meatworm. And the meatworm is not flattened. That's right, they're right. There you go. Now we got the flatworm. Ha! The flatworm. That's right. I wonder if this segment of the meat world is the least visited one, because I feel like it might be the most obscure one. Like it feels like it's the one that's like the most cleverly hidden to me. I don't know. I wonder. I wonder if this is the part of the meat world people find the least often. Yep. Yes, the apartment 36 area of it. I was pretty happy with that one. I was pretty happy with that one. I thought it was very clever of setting up the eye pattern at the very start of the game. And then you don't actually see that eye since, but then and then later there's established that eye patterns are the key to getting to this place. I was pretty happy with myself. I was feeling real smug. I was feeling real smug about that one. They'll never find that one. It was really fun to hide all of these little entrances. I think it's more clever if if it's not. I think it's more clever because you need to remember that was an eye, and you need to just you know. The Screaming Guts dead sprite is not flattened. Another missing a flattening. I actually forget where this guy is though. Where's the Screaming Guts at? That's the big jowls. There's like exactly one jump scare in the entire game. Come on. Let me have one. Let me have one. And it's not even that crazy. It's one of these things where it's not actually that loud, but it uses a distortion effect to make it seem like it's loud. Which really works. That works really well, actually. It's kind of like there's a lot of things you can do that with. A lot of things to, like, you can trick your brain into thinking something is really loud or something is really bright just by mimicking the effects of, like for something really bright, you can just use color bleeding. Wait, you say it's next to the spine entrance? Oh, there it is. There's one. Oh yeah, look at that. Somebody hasn't gotten flattened. Somebody needs a flattening. Oh, the talking drum. I love the talking drum. Oh wait, there's only a flattening sprite on this one. Okay, no, there it is. There's the non-flattened sprite. And there's the flattened one. There we go. I really like the talking drum. Although that's not my favorite version of it. I should put on my favorite version of the talking drum. Just a really fun, long build-up. From the Night Watch. Yeah, from the Night Watch album. Yeah, let's have a little bit of live King Crimson. Yep. Mm-hmm. Let's start with The Night Watch itself, one of my favorite songs. It's a song about that Rembrandt painting. It's body fun. Shine, shine, the light of good will shine. The watch before the city gates, depicted in the bright golden light, all grimy now. 300 years have passed, the light is standing by. Okay, I think that does it. Oh, this one is flattened, actually. Okay, Bandage and Headface have the same sprite as the Surgeon. I fixed that. Sweat Truck's dead sprite does exist. When dead, it will stay against the wall without any collision. I think I had fixed something about this, or at least I was working on a fix for that. Oh, country rack with Spanish walls. Still living through the painter's hands. Request you all to understand. Rowdy Backer and Roadkill don't have dead sprites. Oh yeah, look at that. That's Rowdy Biker. Let's make some dead sprites for them then. This is Kara Monsters. The Fright Watch. Scary song. Scary song. Look at all these goobers who don't have a dead sprite. Let's give them all one now. There it is. My favorite version of the talking drum. Just imagine that Deltarune splat sound, you know the one. The Lancer splat, exactly. Eye, shoulder, eye, legs, and wriggle eye. Use the wrong death sprite. That is everything on floor 3 in the little side room. So easily forgotten. This one's right. Okay, this one is the right spot, but it's not the right sprite. Same for that one. Let's see, Kara Zombies. Bayonet Commando and heavy armored units have their overworld sprites swapped. Man-at-Arms. That's the Man-at-Arms. This one seems fine. Let's see. I'm not sure which Man-at-Arms. This is a Man-at-Arms too. That's Man-at-Arms as well. Yeah, I'm not sure what this error is talking about here. There's a Gatling here, there's a Man-at-Arms here. I mean, the commandos just replace some of the regular soldiers. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm finding anything here. The bayonet and the commandos don't have their own overworld sprite, I don't think. Yeah, they just replace regular soldiers at random. Yeah, there's several. I just went over a few there, and they're all okay. It might be. It should be like. It must be like a very specific one. That's the wrong one. Maybe this one? No. That's a Gatling. I'm doing good. This is Bayonet Trio. Yeah, the one arming, yeah. The one guarding the key is a heavy armored, yeah. And that was a heavy armored there. Oh wait, no. Yeah, this is heavy armored, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's the right one. Yeah, I don't know what this report is about. I'm not seeing it. Maybe I fixed it at one point. Maybe it's an old report. Hands dead sprite uses the Libra sprite. Oh. Oh, hang on. Wait, do I have a... Wait, no, wait, didn't I just replace some of the heavy armored with men-at-arms? Yeah, I don't think it actually has its own sprite, does it? Yeah, no, I'm just... Yeah, it just reuses men-at-arms. The heavy armored. Yeah. It just reuses men-at-arms on the overworld, I think. I don't think there isn't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's no sprite here. Is that what that meant, maybe? Maybe that's what they meant with that error report? I could make one. Wouldn't take too long. Yeah. I just need to find a spot for it. Oh, there we go. All right, let's do a little stretch break. Hey. Okay. Let's go with some Late of the Pierre. Why not? A little more modern. Let's get a little bit more modern in here. All right, let's keep you on this side here as we just clean this up a bit so it's a bit more legible as a sprite. 'Cause, you know, that's a lot of limbs. That's a lot of limbs. It's a little hard to read. I don't know why the album starts with Lean on Me, but it does. It just does. That's just Lean on Me. I know because I played Lean on Me on the fucking trombone. And that was specifically the part of the melody that I was doing on the trombone. That's right. In high school, I played the trombone. Didn't sleep last night. Couldn't calm down. Give me sunlight, the good medicine. Patience of growing Echoes in a cry. It's all illusions fall. Now it's all down to echoes in the cry. Jack Stauber. I think I remember someone recommending that before, maybe. It sounds familiar. Alright, this is kind of legible. I mean, it's still mostly a mess. But it's... that's good enough. It's a generally intelligible mess. Good enough. That's a shuffle. That's the kind of shuffle you gotta do when your body plan has gone fucked up like this. You know, your options are a little more thin. Oh, hey, Dr. Plague. I'm happy to hear it. You ever had like way too many bags you were carrying and you're kind of shuffling to try to get it, you know, try to not drop anything, right? You know, you got something on your arm here, you got a bunch of stuff here, you got a bunch of stuff on your back, you're something in your mouth, right? Well, I think this is this guy's existence forever, just in that moment. He's just stuck in that headspace forever. A fate worse than death. I got nothing. The radio cut of the song shortens it in a way that makes it way better. I do like this version of the song too, though. But it shortens it by overlapping two sections of the song together that work really, really well. It's one of those good lessons that sometimes simplifying something just makes it better. I can put it on, but it would probably get my video muted. It's called Space and the Woods. There's a music video, so it's pretty easy to find. There you go, done. Oh wow. Bands that drag their songs on too long. I wouldn't know anything about that. Hey, how about we throw one random song after this one? You know, just one random song. Just between this song and the next. Alright? Just from another band. Just a random one. Let's see. Just one track. Just one track. We could do Thick as a Brick. That's a good track. We could do, you know what? We could just pick any song from Tales from Topographic Oceans. That'd be a good one too. Yeah, you know, any songs from that album. Alright, you know what? You know what? I suddenly actually do want to put on Thick as a Brick, so I think it's gonna happen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm gonna afflict all of you on that. Yeah, just one song, and then we're back. All right. Indefinite a shout. Rowdy Biker. He loves in the sick. Hands Dead Sprite uses a Libra sprite. And the elevator thing's Dead Sprite. Oh, okay. And you meant all your animal deals, and your wise men don't know how it feels to be thick as a brick. And the sandcastle virtues are all swept away in the tidal destruction, the moral melee. The elastical trees, rings, rose of play. As the last wave uncovers the newfangled way, but your new shoes are worn at the heels, and your suntan does rapidly peels, and your wise men don't know how it feels to be thick as a brick. And the love that I feel is so far away, and the life dream that I just had today, and you shake your head and says it's a chain. Spin me back down the years and the days of my youth. Draw a lace and black curtains and shut out the whole truth. Spin me down the long ages, let them sing a song. See there, and they pronounce it fit the fight. There are black heads on his shoulders, and repeats himself in the night. Okay, what else? Credit Eyes, Dead Sprite incorrectly shows the Predator's alive overworld sprite.
no, it's time to stretch.
Well, we already stretched like 5 minutes ago. The dead body of the floating corpse uses the same sprite as the sapper. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's a lot of floating corpses. Uh-oh. It's gonna be a pain. The poet and the painter casting shadows on the water as the sun plays on the infantry returning from the sea. The dwarf and the banker, no allowance for the other, and the fading light illuminates the mercenary's creed. The bonfire burning, the kettle almost boiling, but the master of the house is far away. The poet sees stamping, the warm breath floating in the sharp and musty morning of the day. And the poet lifts his head while the soldier lifts his sword. Oh, okay, so it's not a global thing. Oh. So it's a specific one. It's a specific one that has the problem. Oof. Okay, let's check all of them real quick. Not this one. Okay, the problem is, I think it's the same problem as the other one. Yeah, okay. So this... Okay, the problem is this, I think. I think it's the same problem as with Obsession. Quietly blazing by the river, and the swelling mountain water moves onward to the sea. The kiln left the castle, renews the age-old purpose, and contemplates the milking cow whose furthest is green. The young men of the household have all got into service and are not to be expected for year. The innocent young master, thoughts moving ever faster, has formed a plan to take them out. it seems, and the poet reads his pen while the shoulder shakes. And the youngest of the family is moving away authority, traveling from across the sea. He challenges the sun, puts him to the run. All right, I think that should be fixed there. What do you do when the young man's gone? Do you want to be him? Okay. Steve has no death sprite. Oh, Steve. Oh no, Steve. Oh yeah, look at that. No death sprite for Steve. That's right, tier 2 only. Encounters huge 2. Well, I mean, silverfish are infamously very resistant to flattening. That's like their whole deal. They can sneak between the pages of a book. It's like their whole thing. Steve is gonna be fine. You know, if any of the arthropod mutants should be resistant to crushing, it should be Steve. Steve should be crushing immune. Just like I did with my old man, 20 years too late. Silverfish are definitely the most plentiful insect in my home. We definitely have a whole bunch of them. I mean, I don't see like huge amounts of them. I just see a few of them, but you know, if you see a few of them, usually there's more. Because they're silly. Because they're silly lads. I've actually drawn silverfish multiple times now. They're not by far the arthropod I've drawn the most is cockroaches because of something in Allison that I'm not going to talk about any more than that. But there's a lot of cockroaches. And I've never seen one. That's true. I've yet to see a single roach in person. I'm a roach poser, you might say. Although we definitely have house centipedes here. That might be a big reason why I don't have any roaches. You know, we definitely got a lot of house centipedes. I imagine those take care very quickly of any population. Clyde's corpse flashes as the Seed Freak's corpse when leaving Jennifer's room. Ooh. I see you shuffle in the courtroom with your rings upon your fingers, and you sound like a scientist from the drink across the show. Laying up upon face, you follow the example of the comic paper idol. Let's ship in the rules. Your childhood heroes want your rhymes upon the pages of the comic book. Show us all the way. And make your will and testament. Won't you join the local government? We'll have Superman for president. Let Robin save the day. You put your bet on number one and it comes out every time. The other kids all fall back down and they put you first in line. So you finally ask yourself just how big you are, and you take your place in a wiser world with bigger motor cars. So come on, Mr. Biggles, when you needed him last Saturday, And when you're a sportsman, who always pull you through. They are resting down in Cornwall, wrapped them up in memoirs for the paperback edition of the Boy Scout Manual. Yeah, these are just cut enemies. And that's not a skull, that's an eyeball. That actually became... Didn't this guy become one of the Meat World enemies? Or maybe it became one of the guys in that locked door that was added in the early game. Maybe I didn't actually end up using him, yeah. It happens. Yeah, a lot of the sprites in that image are just old sprites. Can't believe he's dead. Can't believe the crawler's dead. He was so full of life. Okay, so that's the crawler. The crawler. And next, tiger. Tiger. This was halfway through the song, by the way. This was the halfway point. There's a quiet part because you have to turn the disc for the second half. See that the man is born, and you pronounce him fair peace. There be always there is something is disease. Damn. Can't believe you'd admit to torturing a crawler like that. That's messed up. He's literally just chilling. He's literally just chilling. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I guess never used that one, huh? It's just I do like the, you know, the absurdity of just your eyeball turning into an entire guy, but your head is still attached to it. It's a fun sort of thing. Just your eyeball itself just becoming an entire guy is kind of fun. Yeah? The tiger's funeral? Tiger's funeral. I hope the little sandwiches were good. Yeah, there's the guy. If you haven't seen it, if you're on YouTube, there's the lad. Yeah, I basically just scale down the normal sprite and then tweak it a bit. There it is. When your eyeball becomes an entire guy. I can't believe Sewer Beast's family was all here. It was really awkward. It was really awkward since I killed him with a forklift. Juicebox killed the Sewer Beast with a forklift and then shows up at the funeral. It's kind of messed up. Morning wonder I take my place with all the players, and the blue and white song just slightly discolored in neat little rows. The Great Flower. Oh, the Great Flower? Oh yeah. Oh no, that has a sprite. It's just not placed. Okay. It's just not used. How's the already in the good old valley? I've locked up a tenor from the That's huge too. Oh, Emmanuel. Emmanuel doesn't. I don't think I've actually excluded many. I think the things I've excluded were more like enemies that don't die, like for instance, the Grinning Beast. Like it doesn't make sense to go attend her funeral if she's in your goddamn party afterwards. I think that's basically all I excluded. Yeah, no funeral. I'm pretty sure that's all I. Let's see here. Oh yeah, top eye. So you can't go to the funeral for like a body part of a thing. Pierre, because the fight doesn't actually end in a death. Baby Teeth, because this fight doesn't actually end in a death. Yeah, so it's all just characters, yeah, whose fights don't actually end in a death. Or like parts of another character. Yeah, I think the Baby Teeth limbs, probably. Yeah, Philippe here, the small hand. Also things that are clearly not, that didn't used to be people. Or yeah, here, parts of Lewis. And also fights in fights in the gauntlet. Yeah. No funeral and no creeps. No, it looks like I didn't actually remove the baby teeth limbs. They were not in there. Also, Honko should probably be excluded. I feel like, I mean, some people would definitely mourn Honko, but I don't think they are in this reality, you know? Maybe you would, you know, maybe we would. We would mourn Honko, but I don't think mourning is in the cards for Honko. He's too displaced. No, it's the funeral that's part of Juice Box's random events. You know, there's one random one where Juice Box attends the funeral of a random guy you killed. Probably one of the stupidest ideas in the game, but I think I that's another one that I'd like to see some reactions, like some reactions from streamers when they see this, and it like depending on who the game was picked. Remembering, like, depending on who was picked, it might not make any sense. It might just seem like it's nonsense. But if it's like the name of like a if it's the name of like a memorable monster, I think that's where that would be the biggest pop off there. Okay, so Emmanuel is missing. Emmanuel is missing a dead sprite. Wait, can you even kill? Oh yeah, you can kill Emmanuel, right? Yeah, the drooling husks funeral. Yeah, actually the husks should probably be excluded too, because they're all literally one person, you know. So it wouldn't make sense for them to have separate funerals because nobody knows about them yet. Like there needs to be some kind of like it is absurd, but you know. Well, no, there wouldn't be, but that part of the absurdity is acceptable. You know? There's certain parts of this absurdity that I accept and some parts that I reject. It has to be sort of internally consistent within the insane worlds where somehow Juicebox is attending a funeral. I think Sybil as a boss, maybe it should. Maybe that should be allowed. Do you believe? Oh, I actually made the sprite for it. I just didn't use it. Car Monsters 3. Yeah, Onlooker B's funeral. Yeah, that's a good one. Like, those actually would also work really well. Like, the fact it says Onlooker B, I think, is going to, like, that should make, like, whoever's playing realize, oh, it actually picked a random fucking... just a completely random enemy I killed yesterday. Yeah, I think so. I think Blood Buddy, yeah. I think it makes sense for them to not appear. For sure. Roadkill, I think I already said this one. Yeah, it was already mentioned in the previous one. Stuart. Yeah, let's fix Stuart. There's a lot of things. I still have yet to see someone's first time reaction to the end of Dan's quest. Still haven't seen one of those. So Stuart in the basement. Okay, blackout. Let me have the tales of your life and the path of the knife. The ranger to So come on, ye young men who are building castles, can't mistake the time of the year. Men join your voices in a hellish chorus, mark the precise nature of your fear. Let me tell you to pick up your dead, as the sins of the fathers are fed with the blood of the fools and the fruit of the wilds, and from the pen under your bed. Let me give you a present of song, as the wise man breaks plain and is gone, while the fool that live on the spoofs and the nursery rhyme lines above. $740. So come on, ye young men who are building castles, can't we state the time of the year? When they join their voices in a hellish chorus, mark the precise nature of your fear. see the sons of lightning casting bolts upon you, and the hour of judgment brought me. But you're being a fool if you're based to So come on, you childhood heroes, when you rise above the pages of the comic book, your supercross, show us all the way, and make your will and testament when you join your local government. Left Superman for president, let Robin save the day. Okay, then there's Wiggles. Wiggles? Oh, it's Wiggles. Where the hell was Wiggles? See? He said it. He said it, not me. Where the hell is Wiggles? And they are resting down in Cornwall. They're acting up the memoirs for the paperback edition of the Boy Scout Manual. There's Wiggles. There's Wiggles. The garbage worm. Yeah, maybe that should have a. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it really needs I mean, it would look a little bit better if there was like a dead worm there. And you wise men don't know how it feels to be thick. There you go. That was thick as a brick. No, I don't think I'll change it. I'll leave it like that. Typewriter, okay. Oh, no, it's right there. Typewriter's got one. Weird. Typewriter's got one. Oh yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, that was all. Yeah, that was all together. Right. Lantern. Lantern on floor 4. Nasty. dark glow. Huge 8. Okay, Feely's corpse flashes as attacker B's dead sprite. Okay. No funeral. No funeral. That should fix most of them, I think. Okay. Should fix these here. What an abomination. Innocence is such a crime. Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. That's all of them. Oh, I think I didn't do you yet. There we go. Taxidermy's dead sprite doesn't reflect its new final form. Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah, I should give that something a bit better. Right, right. Yeah, then actually I will after that. I did do the elevator thing, yes. This is UJ8. It's the vast majority of it is balancing, a lot of balancing stuff. A lot of like skills were tweaked. A lot of skills of individual characters that were kind of useless before are made more useful. Yeah, lots of changes. Lots of changes. Lots of tweaks. Lots of enemies too. Some enemies. Enemies made stronger.
Oh no, it's time to stretch.
A lot of things. A lot of little things. Jasper's dead sprite doesn't reflect his true form. Oh yeah, Jasper's dead sprite, sure. So yeah, let's go check on Jasper. Jasper taking a nap. Hey, Garju. How goes? Kill Jasper. There he is. Caracultists. They're just chilling. The Boiling Room group, they're just chilling. Oh, is it a bit loud? There you go. That should be better. They're just hanging out. The limits of what will be added in the next update. I mean, it's really just, you know, yeah, a little like there's a few new skills. There's lots of rebalanced skills, rebalanced enemies. There might be a few. Yeah, it's about the just lots of rebalancing stuff for the most part. Mm-hmm. Okay. And in Summer's apartment, a lot of the enemies have the Piranha Head Dead Sprite instead of their own. Okay. Crab. Evil guy. Evil guy's a great addition, I think. Everyone loves evil guy. Who doesn't love evil guy? I can't wait. I'm definitely going to receive a note from localization on the evil guy. The hell is the evil guy? What is this? You've been got by the evil guy? The hell does that mean? Gotcha beans. Maybe I would translate the evil guy into le bonhomme 7 heures, I think. Which is like more like the boogeyman. It's like the French Canadian the French Canadian boogeyman. That comes from a mistranslated Canadian boogeyman, I think. The bonhomme 7 heures, which came from people mishearing a boogie like a Canadian boogeyman called the Bone Setter. The Bone Setter. And that sounded like in French that sounded like bonhomme 7 heures, which literally translate to the 7 o'clock guy. The 7 o'clock guy. Bone Setter. Yeah, that was basically the boogeyman to get kids to go to bed early. You know? Yeah, you have to be in bed by 7. If by 7 you're not in bed, the 7 o'clock man is gonna get you. There's also croque-mitaine, but croque-mitaine is a bit more French, a bit more European. And that translates to mitten biter. like finger biter. But it's also something you heard in Quebec too. But in Quebec that was mostly bonhomme 7 heures. I made a monster in Malison that I'm not going to show. I'll keep that one under wraps a bit. But I made a monster in Malison inspired of croque-mitaine. It probably came from Garju. It probably came from like a doctor being called a bone setter and then kids hearing that it's really painful to have your bones set, you know? And then it turned into like, you know, if you don't go to bed now, the bone setter is gonna visit. And it sounds really scary. I imagine something like that. And then that somehow turned into the 7 o'clock man. Just a funny story. A funny little history for a spooky. Yeah. The bone setter. Yeah. You'll be visited by the boy kisser. Yeah. Very threatening. The boy kisser's gonna get you. Uh Large spooky thing. Okay, I don't think I have one for this one. So that's in this large spooky thing. That might be the last one I need to do here. So keep your hand on the waist. Okay, I think that's all of them. All right, yeah, there you go. So that's the ones for Summer's apartment. Yes, now I need to check some of the Freds, right? That's the only yeah, the only part left is some Freds. I did make a sprite for Wrigley. Just didn't set it here. That's in Painter's Home. There we go. And Toxic Fred. This one's set. Hmm. Oh, these parts are not. Okay. A sound effect in battle when an enemy does a specific attack? Yeah, you can. All right, there you go. That should do it then. All right, only one big section left: the collision and visual oddities. All right, let's start them. Why not? Maybe I can do a bunch of it tonight. So apartment 30 missing collision. All right, let's get going on them. Let's get going. Missing collisions. Apartment 30. Over here, or right there. Yep, that'll do it. Bam. Done. Unnecessary collisions where stuffed animals used to be. Oh. Oh, right, right, right. Okay. That should fix both of these. Entering one of the doors places you one tile further than needed. Ah. All right, done. Mismatched tiles. Huh? Mismatched tiles. Oh, okay, I see. I see. That's more of a tile set issue. Like a detailing problem. Missing details on a tile set. Fits better now. Inconsistent door sprites. Yeah, you can just change. You can just give it a specific battle animation that has that sound effect in it. It's not particularly complicated. They're just random monsters that came up on the spot. The main thing I wanted was to have them all feel very, very different looking. To have all have their completely different vibe to them. That was the main thing. Only one of them is not fully original. It is the Dream Eater. The Dream Eater's design actually came from a monster I had previously made for another game. A demon, a dream demon that I made for an unreleased game called Tartarus Below. Yeah, a dream demon. That game has a bunch of demons in it. That game has a bunch of demons in it of all kinds. It's one of the enemy types, like one of the end game enemy types is just demons. And you can fight a bunch of them. It's a gimmick in the game that, like, once you reach, so there's like cultists in that game. I do a lot. There's a lot of cultists in my games. That's like a thing. Cultists summoning demons is just a recurring thing in my games for some reason. And there's like a hidden temple in Tartarus below, where you find a bunch of cultists doing some kind of ritual. And at the end of that dungeon, when they complete the ritual, it summons a bunch of demons. And once that happens, it actually populates the entire game with demons. There's characters all over the game that used to just be around and were not dangerous. And now if you go back to where they were, they're all replaced with demons. So it makes the entire, like, a bunch of like friendly NPCs just spontaneously are replaced with demons after you do this, making the entire game way, way more dangerous after you get past this point, which I think is a pretty fun gimmick. Yeah, they're just like regular NPCs normally. It was just a fun way to... It's just a fun way to make the end game feel like things are escalating. That a lot of previously explored areas that by now were safe are now very, very dangerous again. And actually, the further back you go, the worse the demons are. So for most of the game, as you go deeper, things get more and more dangerous. But now that flips the script, and now if you go back up, things get more and more dangerous. So you kind of feel like you're between a rock and a hard place at that point. There's just nowhere that's safe. I think that worked really well. Oh, that was just something I had set aside. It was like a side project that I was just having some fun with. Another like RPG maker, an RPG maker dungeon crawler. That was just a side project that I was making like YouTube videos about. It's the kind of thing that I would return to and work a little bit more on every once in a while. Impassable tiles everywhere is better, I think, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't make a huge difference. Yeah, I might return back to it. Every once in a while I think about going back to it, but obviously there's just. But yes, the Kelp Man. If you've seen the Kelp Man in the game's source code, in Look Outside source code, the Kelp Man is originally a monster from that game. A very scary monster, the Kelp Man. For a very, very scary sequence. Okay, missing collisions in apartment 28. Okay, seems like there's a few things. I think there was a YouTube short of me showing off the Kelp Man a while back. That was funny because it accidentally, did the thing where a scary scream is cut off. It did that accidentally because of the timing of the monster movement. So that made it very funny. Yeah, it was a lot of Ratman, yeah. There was a lot of Ratman. Yeah, there's Ratman living in the sewers is a recurring Frankie bit. Not the most unusual bit. Let's see here. Oh, that collision doesn't. What? That collision here? I mean, it's giving me X's here, but. Huh. Oh yeah, I think gray might be that it's a very the color difference between those light and dark X's is very small. That they could use to make that a bit more stark. Yeah, I think it is different, yes. Oh yeah, you got it? There we go. Yeah, this was when I was working on the Kelp Man encounter. Or was it when I was showing it off? No, I think that's when I was showing it off, maybe. There it is. There it is. Yeah, the scary scream cut off is very good. There's the Kelp Man. Yep. That's the Kelp Man, alright. Uh oh. This one can fix with this. This one I can't. This one I can. There we go. Yes, the whole bit of that is it's very scary. It's a very intense encounter. Okay, that should fix that. Yeah. There's a whole setup to it, all right? It's not just a random fight. There's a whole setup. There's a story. There's lore. Like Kelpman's got lore, folks. I know you all like lore. You love lore. Well, Kelpman's got lore. That's right. Yeah. Well, the lore was expanded with the lore was expanded somewhat in the source code. You'll have to go look into the source code yourself to see the details. You can look right now. That's right. You have to search for it in the bunch of stuff script. It's only in the bunch of stuff script that you can find all the hidden lore. I don't think anyone's made a video essay about Kelpman lore, nope. Maybe someday there's going to be a deep dive on it. I think they got too close to the truth and then they backed off. They backed off when it got too real. I cannot speak about Kelpman myself. That would be wrong. That would be wrong. I can't be neutral about Kelpman, you understand? I can't be neutral. I'm too involved. I'm just too involved. It would be disrespectful. One side of the door uses the regular door sprite instead of the watertight door sprite. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. The wrong door. It uses the wrong door. It uses the wrong door. This one too, actually. You even noticed that one. Hmm. Oh, it's flood doors. I see. I don't know if I've seen Catman fan art. There might have been. There might have been. I feel like maybe the last time I talked about it, someone made Catman fan art. Yeah, there you go. Right, yeah. There you go. Torn clothes change sprite depending on the side you interact them from. Oh. There we go. Calpalina. That's the deep lore. Someone's digging down in that deep lore to bring out that name. Exiting the apartment will cause Sam's footsteps to become silent until a new room is entered. Oh. Okay.
Oh no, it's time to stretch.
Oh no. Alright, that's probably going to be the end of the stream, though. Alright, that should fix that. Alright, so... yeah. So finished all of the UX. And started on the collisions and the visual oddities. And did all of the apartment 30 and 28 stuff to it. Yeah, lots of progress today. Didn't end up doing any of the balancing stuff, but that's fine. Sometimes you just gotta plug away at this stuff. All right, folks. Yeah, thank you all for watching, folks. Before I go, let me quickly link my Patreon. Please have a look. Thank you. And let's look at someone to raid on Twitch. Let's see, is someone playing the game? Yeah, we got some folks playing. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we got some folks. Some new folks I haven't seen before play here too. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, let's raid let's raid look who's a Fatagan. Why not?
Oh, I hate that. I hate that so much.
All right, let's raid them.
How bad do you think it's gonna be when we fight this thing?
All right, they're about to encounter
I feel like it's gonna be pretty bad.
a friend, a new friend. It looks like, folks. All right, let's raid. Thanks for watching, y'all. Take care.
But we did just save, so you know what? YOLO.